this is
Hi.
Carla from the new show of Rehan Alawalla's called Meet an Israeli. And today we are talking with Yael Tamar from Tel Aviv, Israel. And we're going to learn a little about Tel Aviv. She's in a cafe now. Maybe she can show us the cafe. And we're going to find out a little about Israel from Yael.
Sounds good.
Yael, good afternoon. I'm so glad to have you here speaking with me. How are
Good
you
evening.
doing?
Doing great, thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. Can we start with you translating your name for me so people understand?
Yael is a mountain goat. It's ibex. It's like this animal with horns. And Tamar is a date palm. So every single name in Israel, almost every single name in Hebrew, has a meaning. Either it's an animal or an abstract thing, or a flower or a plant, or a bird or whatever. So mine happens to be Yael, a mountain goat.
Were you
Very
born with that name?
Actually, no. I was born Yulia. That's a Russian name. I was born in Ukraine.
Oh,
Um, and my father is Jewish. My mother wasn't born Jewish, is not Jewish, so that made me by birth not Jewish. So I had to convert to Judaism, and I did it in New York, and I took on the name Yael Tamar. Yael because my best friend at the time in New York, her name was Yael, and also it's kind of close to Yulia. And Tamar, that's basically my middle name, and I took it after my grandma, whose name was Tamara.
okay. How long did you live in the Ukraine? You said you were born there.
I
Did you
was, I was
leave?
born there and I lived there for 16 years. And then I moved, I went to the US to go to high school. I won a contest, which takes place every year in Ukraine among all of the teenagers. And there are maybe 500,000 teenagers in Ukraine, and maybe a few hundred of them go to the US at all expenses paid. So luckily they chose me, and I went.
And how long did you spend in the U.S.?
5 years. I went to high school and I did my bachelor's and master's.
Wow. So you were like an exchange student in the U.S.
Yes, I was an exchange student.
And then, and what is your bachelor's and master's in?
Economics, behavioral economics.
Ah, you can teach me something about economics. It's not my fortitude at all. And then how did you end up in Israel?
I moved to Israel after I finished college. Basically, I came to Israel a few times and it felt quite like home. And I loved the people who are very friendly, and I love the diversity. I love the fact that you walk, in Jaffa or in Jerusalem, and you can bump into people of all colors and all religions. I have friends who are Arab Muslim, Arab Christian, of course Jewish, and and Christian and Buddhist, and atheists, and all kinds. So I really love like this diversity, and I love the spirit. So I figured it's a place for me. It's a much less lonelier place than the United States.
Okay, maybe this is a little different question, but I'm trying to get
Yeah.
to how did you end up in Israel? You could have ended up in many different ways. Did you know
Ah,
people in Israel? Did you, you know?
So in Israel, you have um, basically Israel is a Jewish home in
Right.
a way. So when after the Second World War, Jews needed a place to go, or even before. So basically, that was the premise of creating the country where Jews have had presence for thousands of years. And so now Israel is considered to be a Jewish home among other nations, but that's where the Jews can go if they need to find a sanctuary. There's a lot of anti-Semitism in Europe, for example, right now. So there are a lot of French Jews who come to Israel, and they're basically welcome to live here. So when I was younger, I came to Israel a few times, usually a part of some sort of an educational program, and it's kind of an obvious place where all the Jews go. They go to visit and go to travel. So Israel has obviously a lot of different nationalities. The Jews, the Muslims, the Christians, and everybody is welcome to visit. But in terms of your ability to come and move and live here, that privilege is given to the Jews. So that's the reality of it.
But what inspired you to move to Israel?
Like I said, when I came here, it just felt like home. Everything fell into place. I felt like, on the one hand, it's a place where you can freely be Jewish in a way that there's very little anti-Semitism, which I have experienced back in Ukraine. And I have experienced in New York, quite frankly, because of my association. And when I was in college, I was at Hunter College. I actually ran to be the student government president, and we didn't win, but the whole it came out that I was Jewish, and it wasn't very nice. So there was a lot of negativity. But so Israel is a place where Jews can safely be Jews. But besides that, besides the fact that it's a Jewish home, I felt like there's this great and amazing diversity, almost like nowhere else I've seen in the world. And I can say that in America, I felt there was a lot of disenfranchisement and a lot of times, quite frankly, racism. Or discrimination. And in Israel, I felt like anybody can find their place. I can be, I can find a deeply religious Orthodox Jew chatting, and there could be a Muslim person next to them, and a Christian person, an Ethiopian, Black person, or a Black Jew, or Chinese or Filipino.
Wow.
People, it's a very diverse place. I was at a New Year's Eve party, and I'm very connected to the gay community in Israel. I'm very connected to the gay community in Israel. So there were, it's a gay party, and then there were a few Muslims from Jaffa and a few Jews, and it's just I just. Maybe it's Tel Aviv, because Tel Aviv is more diverse than other places. Also Jerusalem. But I feel like people are very open, and that's what I love about it. People find a way to coexist, and they're very open, and also it's a place where women are respected. And of course there is a glass ceiling and inequality and things like that, but women's rights are like major priority. And especially for the communities which traditionally, more religious communities in the world tend to have more discrimination against women. So in Israel, the majority of women work, and it's amazing. like I think that women make a big difference and a big dent in society. Um, so I see a lot of women working in many spheres, and that makes me very happy. So
Do you know that I started a Speak English Women Only group? And
yes,
we meet every Saturday. Well, I guess it would be Saturday evening for you.
yeah.
Um, and we discuss what ladies' issues. And it gives a chance for the ladies to get to know each other. You may be interested.
Okay,
But
sure. Tell me. I mean, invite me. Sure.
I thought I did. I'll
I
send
don't.
you
Okay.
another
Cool.
invitation.
Okay.
But I would love you to join that group because, from what you're saying, I think you would enjoy the conversation in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Israel. So, how long have you been in Israel?
About 12 years.
And you're happy?
Yes.
Can you show us the cafe that you're in so we can see what it's like?
Okay. Just a second. How do I do this? How do I switch
Do
from
you have
the...
an iPhone or?
No, here I can show you like that, right? So it's just basically like it's evening, so people are leaving, and maybe I'll go on the street in a minute when the rain stops. So basically, it's. Let me see. Let me show you. There's like people are thinking I'm weird. Anyway, there are people in the cafe hanging out in that part, but yeah, it's basically it's a business area. I just came out of a 5-hour business meeting, and
5 hours.
yes,
Wow.
5 hours. Yep. So. It was a brainstorming. It was a meeting about cryptocurrency, a startup that wants to create a cryptocurrency and have an ICO, which is basically like an IPO in about a month and a half. So my role is to create a community. It's a cryptocurrency for the vegans.
For the vegans, that's interesting. Does it have a special name?
It's called Vegan Point, and the whole concept is called Vegan Nation.
Will it be just in Israel, or will it go?
Global. It's going to be global, of course. Yeah.
Wow, what a cool idea! And I take it you're vegan.
Yes.
I'm going towards it. I haven't quite made it yet, but I'm working on that happening.
Yep.
Now, why did you choose Tel Aviv as your home?
I think that almost everybody who is in business or some sort of, needs to have frequent meetings, and in the investment world, they're close to Tel Aviv in the center. But also, just I told you, I really enjoy the diversity. And
yeah, I'm surprised to hear about the diversity. I always thought Israel was a very, very, very Jewish state, and from what you're saying, that it isn't at all.
No, it's like only about, I would say, 70% Jewish. There's 20% Arabs. And another 10% who are either Christian or other religions. And there's a lot of foreign workers too. There's 500,000 foreign workers, mainly Filipino and Asian. So there are lots and lots of different, and there's also different types of Jews from all over the world. And so it's very, very diverse. It's 2/3 Jewish, 1/3 something else.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And how are you raising your kids? Are you raising them Jewish? I know that you have some kids.
Yeah, I have two kids. They are Jewish. I mean, they're raised Jewish, and we keep Sabbath and the holidays and everything. Um, but I'm trying to get them exposed to all kinds of religions and ways of life, and be very tolerant. Um, they have friends from Eritrea, so they have friends from America, and they have Chinese friends. So I'm trying to get them exposed to all kinds of cultures and to understand that there are many different ways. And in fact, Israel only has the Jews are only about 1/3 of them, or even less, quarter, are religious. So the most Jews in Israel are either slightly traditional or very secular. So, they only remember they're Jewish on Yom Kippur. And
Not even Rosh Hashanah?
they go to their parents maybe to have a meal. But a lot of them are very secular, and so it's nice for me to keep them a little traditional, a little more grounded, but they get exposed to all of the cultures and religions.
Now, is Tel Aviv, I know it's an urban city, but do you have a lot of trees and a lot of grass, or is it more or less,
Yeah.
barren?
No, we have a lot. Actually, the rain stopped. I'll walk out on the street. But we have a lot of vegetation. Like, there is a big park, and there is a river, and we're on the beach. So there's a beach. It's actually it's top 10 urban beach in the world. They came out with a list of top 10 urban beaches, and Tel Aviv was on the list.
Wow.
Yeah,
it sounds beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it's urban, right? So it's not like the beaches of Thailand or anything like that, but it's very fun because they're they play beach volleyball, and they have games, and and they're cafes, so you can definitely come and have fun on the beach, and the weather is great usually. Today, actually, it's they told us everybody is basically at home because there's supposed to be a storm. They call it a storm. It's nothing like any storm in the US, but because we don't have them very often, and it's January, right? And I'm basically wearing a light jacket. That's all I'm wearing. And my shoes.
Noticed.
and these are my shoes, right? So I don't know if you see them, but basically, it's warm, okay? And it's
wow.
There's supposed to be like a major storm, and everybody's preparing, and usually when there is a storm, because we're so unprepared, like our buildings don't even have heat. Like, we heat ourselves with space heaters. Like, there's no central heat.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so we basically are freezing at home because sometimes, like, there's some cold days, like you sit in a coat and like mittens and a hat because we just wait for the summer to come. So basically that's the reality of it. So tomorrow there's going to be a storm. So what's going to happen tomorrow, and I can tell you already, because our infrastructure is in no way prepared to withstand even like heavy rain for one day, the major highway in Tel Aviv is going to turn into a river. You can basically go in canoe on the highway.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. It's really funny because, like, because we just live in like this summer mindset. So there's going to be a river on the major highway, and then in about a few days, the sun is going to come out. It's going to drain the river, and everything's going to go back to normal. But during those days, people are not going to work. Kids are not going to school. So it happens maybe once a year. And there is a joke right now actually going around. They say the major storm is coming, and I went by the zoo and I saw the animals were lining up in pairs. I don't know if
Now, are the zoos like they are here, in cages, or do the animals have more of a place to kind of walk around? And
I don't know. I don't know the zoos anyway. I think they're evil. But
I
they
agree.
have a safari. So a lot of animals, like wild animals, are hanging out more freely. And then they have some animals in cages too. But yeah, so this was a joke referring to the Noah's Ark for people who didn't get it. Yeah, so that's basically the reality of the Israeli winter, which is very, very warm. So I'm on the major street right now. Well, it's not major street, I guess it's a street. And there's nobody on the street you can see because of the storm. Like there people are at home trying to keep warm. I don't know why I'm just crossing the street without the light, but anyway. So that's it, and it's the weekend, so a lot of people are going out. I'm probably not going out because I have way too much work to do. And because I have yoga tomorrow early morning. So that's it.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, do you meditate? You say you do yoga.
A little bit. I meditate very little. I do yoga for exercise mainly. I do like headstands and just power yoga. So you can, if anybody wants to see my headstands on Instagram, I am at Raw Mommy, RAWMOMMY. So you can follow me on Facebook at Yael Tamar or Yael GRE. That's my Facebook username. Yeah. So you can see I post every Friday. I practice a new headstand. I like to stand on my head, basically.
Why do you like standing on your head?
Gives me a new perspective and upside down. No, I mean just the feeling, because the blood flow, I guess, to the head, or maybe just the feeling of accomplishment. I don't know.
How long can you stand on your head?
Maybe just 5 seconds or so.
Well, that's cool.
At a time, yeah.
And it's kind of cool to find that that's something that's done in Israel, where I wouldn't have thought people in Israel would be doing yoga.
Israel is a very big yoga nation. Everybody does yoga. Almost everybody exercises in some way or the other. I do CrossFit, and I do a lot of like high intensity training and the gym. People here are very sports oriented. Everybody is doing something. There may be, I don't know, 100 yoga studios just in Tel Aviv.
Wow.
And there's a beach yoga, there's acro yoga. Any given day you can go and find some yoga class in the park. It's big, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're even on Shabbat?
Yeah. People here don't really, I mean, in Tel Aviv, very few people respect Shabbat, so.
But I know you do, because I remember trying to get you to do something else, and you said,
"Yeah, keep Shabbat.
Saturday is Shabbat."
Yeah, I do keep Shabbat. But most people don't.
Okay. Is there anything that you want me to know about Tel Aviv that we haven't covered?
The public transportation system is not amazing. Still, they're building like a new train, and they're trying to improve. But the thing about Tel Aviv and Israel in general that we haven't covered, that maybe everybody knows, it's a startup nation. It's everything is about high tech and technologies. Almost every technology on the face of the earth, like that you take in your hand, most of it was built in Israel. most technology that's being used, let's say, in a mobile device, was developed in Israel. So it's some kind of like our pride on one hand, the high-tech industry, but it's also a necessity. We have no natural resources of any kind. It's a very small country with no natural resources. Almost. There's a little bit of gas, but they just discovered it. There's a big diamond industry. I know that Pakistan has a big diamond. There's a big diamond industry in Israel. There is so high tech and diamonds are the leaders. Then the tourism. There's a lot of Christian tourism in Israel. What else? There are certain professions there that are dominated by like certain nationalities. For example, there are many Arab Muslim women who are nurses. So many Arab Muslim women go into nursing. If you go into a hospital here, chances are that maybe half of it or a third, it depends on the hospital, of women are going to be Arab Muslim women. And of course you can identify them because they are wearing a hijab. So, no, not a hijab. I mean, the scarf is the hijab, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they are wearing the hijab. But also so within the Muslim community, there's also a lot of diversity too. They're traditional and then they're less traditional. Most of them wear jeans, young women. And there are also other communities, let's say, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but many Arab men go into pharmacy. So most pharmacies are either owned private pharmacies or ran by Arabs, which is interesting. There are certain like cities in Israel that are more Christian, like Nazareth, where Jesus was supposedly born, or not supposedly, he was born there, most likely, according to different historical sources. And I was just there. It was a really nice Christmas. It was really nice to experience Christmas a little bit. For us in Israel, it's kind of like novelty. So we go to places like Jaffa and Haifa and Nazareth, and also places in the Palestinian areas where they have a lot of Christians, and then to see the tree and so on, like festive. So I guess that's it. It's just basically a little anthropological.
Now, Haifa is not a very big Jewish city?
No, Haifa actually is like a very, I guess it's evenly divided. Like,
I'm losing your face at times. So.
Oh, sorry. So basically, Haifa is actually, it's even more diverse, because in Haifa you have the big Christian community. There is an area like where Christians live. You have a big Muslim community, and also you have the Baha'i. You heard about the Baha'i?
Oh, yes.
So there is a Baha'i temple in Haifa. So Haifa is actually very diverse. Jerusalem is the most diverse, right? Because you have all three religions living there, but and also inside the old city. But Haifa is getting there too.
Wow, I never knew this before.
Yeah, you should come and visit. I hope that whoever can, because I don't know at the moment if Pakistanis are allowed to visit Israel.
I don't think they are, but I'm allowed.
Yeah, you're allowed. No, but if they have a foreign passport, they might. get in after extensive interrogation, but they might. And you should come and visit me, stay with us for Shabbat.
I would love to.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I have a lot of people who come and visit me and my family, and I take them all over the place, show them the usual places like the Dead Sea, or Jerusalem, or Haifa. But I also go to other places where most tourists don't go. So
Now tell me something. That's where I'd like to go. I don't want to go. I want to see the tourist traps, but I also want to see real Israel.
yeah, yeah, it really is Israel. It's nice. Wow,
Now,
look,
I'm losing
there's
your
a.
face again.
Wait, no, I'm showing you. This is a basically a very central place in Tel Aviv. It's called the Azrieli Towers,
Ooh.
and it's a shopping mall and a hotel and a business area. We're now like at the very, very center of where it all happens. So, and I'm walking to my mother-in-law right now. Oh wow, sorry about the wind. I'm telling you, the storm is about to start.
Well, I hope you get home before the storm starts.
I'll take a taxi. Oh, my battery died.
I'll send you a message. Thank you so much, Yael. I'll send you a message. Bye. This is Carla of Meet an Israeli, and Yael lost her battery. So we're going to need to finish this up at a later date. Have a great night, people, and it's been really fun talking with you. Bye.